Hey guys, in this video we're going to look at the new canvas element from HTML5. Now basically what this is, it gives us a specified canvas that we can give certain dimensions to, and then we can use JavaScript to draw on that canvas, whether it's for shapes or lines or text. We can do different things. Alright, so let's start in the body here. We're going to add the canvas tag, and we're going to give it an ID. We'll call it my canvas, and we're going to give it a width of 300 and also a height of 300. Okay, and that's going to take a closing tag as well. Now if I was to save this and reload, you can see that we don't see any difference here. That's because initially the canvas is just blank. Now we can do different things using CSS to this canvas. So let's go up here and put in style, and you could also use inline style if you'd like. And let's do my canvas. Okay, and then in here let's give it a border. We'll say 1 pixel, black, solid, and I'm just going to give it a light gray background as well. Alright, so if we save that and reload, now you can see that the canvas is visible. So we use JavaScript to do different things on the canvas. So we're going to go down here, and I realize that some of you might not know JavaScript, but I'll try to explain it as we go along. Alright, so first thing we want to do is create a variable for this canvas. So we're going to create a variable called C, and we're going to set it to document.getElementById, which does just that. It fetches it by its ID. In this case is my canvas. Alright, so now we're grabbing that element, and in order to do certain things such as draw lines or fill shapes or whatever you want to do, you have to have a context. So we want a variable for the context. And you could call it with what you want. CTX is a common variable for it. And then we're going to say C because that's what we called the variable above. And then we just want to do dot get context. Alright, we want that 2D context. So we want to pass in 2D. Alright, now we can use this context variable to do different things. So first thing we're going to do is create a rectangle. So we'll say CTX, and we're going to set a fill style. Fill style is basically just the color we want to color this rectangle. Now you can put hexadecimal values, but I'm just going to use the text red. Alright, and then to fill it, we're going to say ctx.fillRect, and then we need to pass in a few different parameters here. The first one is going to be, I believe it's from the left over. It's either we have the left over and then from the top down. So let's say 75 from the left over and then 75 from the top down, or it might be reversed. We'll check it out in a minute. And then the next two parameters will be the size of the width of it and then the height of it, which I'm going to make 150 by 150. Alright, so let's go ahead and save that and reload. And now you can see we have our rectangle. And just to make sure, let's change this to 20. Alright, yeah, so this first one is from the left over. Okay, so right now it's 20. Put it back to 75. And if I was to say 20 for this one, you can see that that number pertains to the top down distance. Alright, and then if I wanted to make this bigger, we could say 250, which is the width of it. If I wanted to change the height, say 250. Alright, so that's an example of a rectangle, drawing a rectangle. Alright, now let's do a line. So I'm going to actually comment this out. We could do multiple shapes, but I don't want it to get confusing, so we're just going to comment that out. Alright, so let's say line. So we're going to take that CTX variable and we're going to say move to, and we're going to do 0, 0 because we want to start at the very beginning, which would be this top corner. All right, and then we can say ctx dot line 2, and let's go 250 over and then 150 down. All right, and then we need to actually give it a stroke, which is basically like a border. So stroke, just like that, and then let's save it. And now you can see we have a line that goes over 250 and then down 150. Okay, so if we were to change this to 100, you can see that it's now down 100. All right, so let's comment that out. I'm just gonna go like that. Okay, next thing we'll do is a circle. So for the circle, we want to start out with ctx dot begin path. All right, and then we're going to do ctx dot arc. And in here, we're going to specify some things. Let's do 150 over, 150 down. And then this has to do with the size of the circle. We're going to say 60, 0. And then we need to take multiply the pi, math.pi, by 2. So we're going to say 2 times math.pi. Okay, so that's just a standard formula for a circle. Now we want to fill this circle with a color, so let's say ctx dot fill style, and we'll set that to green. And then to actually do the filling, we need ctx dot fill. So let's save that, and now you can see we have our circle. All right, now if we want to have a border around it, we can say ctx dot line width, and let's set that to 4. And then we can color that. We'll say ctx dot stroke style, and we'll set that to red. Okay, and then in order to apply the stroke, we need to call the stroke function, ctx dot stroke, and reload. And now you can see we have that red border, which is has a line width of 4 and a color of red. All right, now we're not limited to just lines and shapes. We can also do text. So let's go ahead and say ctx dot font. We can actually set the font. Okay, we're going to set that equal to, we'll say 50 pixels Arial. And let's set the stroke style, which would basically be the color of the font. So stroke style equals red, and then ctx dot stroke text, which is a function, and first parameter is going to be what we want the text to say. We'll just say hello world, and then let's say 20 over and then 150 down. And there we go. Now we have some text. Let me just put that comment in there. Okay, let me comment that out. Next thing we'll do is a gradient. We can actually do gradients. Why do I keep doing that? Oh no, that's right. All right, so gradient, first thing we'll do is we're going to create a variable called GRD, or whatever you want to call it, and then set it to ctx dot, and we want create a linear gradient. Okay, we're going to do 0, 0, 100, 0. All right, and then we're going to take that GDR or GRD variable, and we're going to say add color stop. Let's say 0, and we'll make that blue, And then we'll take, let's copy that. And this one will be 1, and we'll say white. Alright. Let's save that. Okay, so that's not going to work yet. We have to actually add a fill style, so ctx.fillStyle. And we're going to set that to that GRD variable. And then ctx.fillRect, just like we did creating a rectangle. We'll say 10, 10, 150, 150. And there we go, we created a gradient. And if we were to change, let's say this right here to 50, you can see that that lessens the amount of blue gradient. All right, so that's just to show you the very basics of this. I mean, obviously this doesn't give you much functionality. You wouldn't really want to do this, but it just gives you kind of a foundation of what Canvas is about, and how you can draw different shapes and text and stuff like that. Alright, I don't want to get too advanced. I know that you probably haven't watched the JavaScript section yet, so hopefully this isn't too confusing. And in the next video we're going to look at SVG, which is Scalable Vector Graphics.